Say what you want about Mikel Arteta, but if you are still doubting him, then you're missing the big picture. This man has transformed us now, and disrespect needs to stop. Arsenal fans, let's talk. Because I'm saying something that does not sit right with me. Mikel Arteta, our manager, our leader, is still not getting the respect that he has earned. And today I'm going to tell you why he deserves more than your support. He deserves your gratitude. Let me take you guys all the way back to when Arsene Wenger left the club and he was replaced by Unai Emery. In Emery's first season with the club, we finished in 5th place, crashed out of the FA Cup in the 4th round against Manchester United. I can remember that game. Alexis Sanchez scored us a very annoying goal. Then Jesse Lingard scored and did a moonwalk. He did a bloody moonwalk in the Emirates Stadium. In the Carabao Cup, it was even worse. We lost at home to Tottenham Hotspur. Dele Alli and Heung-min Son scored. The league campaign was disastrous. With top 4 in our side, we found a way to lose 5 of our last 7 games. We lost to Everton, we lost to Crystal Palace, we lost to Wolves, we lost to Leicester. Then, Emery had a second chance to redeem himself in the Europa League final and were embarrassed by Chelsea. His first campaign was a disaster. The second was even worse. What happened in the summer? Him and Raul worked together to get a couple of players. Diego Martinelli came from Ituano. David Luiz came from Chelsea. Kieran Tierney came from Celtic. We bought a young Saliba from St. Etienne and sent him back on loan. Then we now had our record signing, Nicolas Pepe from Lille. You saw that Ceballos who came on loan from Real Madrid. In that same summer, Peter Cech retired after embarrassing us in the Europa League final. Stefan Lichtsteiner, Aaron Ramsey, and Daniel Welbeck were all released. David Ospina went to Napoli. Koscielny went to Bordeaux. Carl Jenkinson went to Nottingham Forest. Nacho Monreal, our Mr. Consistency, went to Real Sociedad. And of course, we had a very good sale of Alex Iwobi. As of December 2019, Arsenal had 6 losses, 9 draws, and only 5 wins, and were 12th in the table. Unai Emery was sacked. Freddie Ljungberg came and played a couple of games, which included that win against West Ham, and Arteta joined the club, his first managerial stint. When Arteta took over from Arsenal, we had no identity, we had no direction, the dressing room was divided. There was no hope of Champions League football. We had a very bloated wage bill. The club was broken, but Arteta loved Arsenal enough to walk right into it. Mikel Arteta was never afraid to make bold calls, but some of his bold decisions shook Arsenal to their core, and he changed everything. Many questioned his inexperience, no doubt, but what followed will define the club. One of his first bombshells came when he froze out Mesut Ozil, a fan favorite, a playmaker with unmatched vision, gone from the squad. Arteta said it was all about the non-negotiables, a message that no player was bigger than the badge. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang was the club captain, was the top scorer. However, his disciplinary issues were getting out of hand and his form was declining. So Arteta made a very ruthless call to terminate his contract. Fans were divided. But guess what? He paved the way for a new leader, Martin Odegaard. Instead of panic buying some stars, Arteta placed his faith in youth. Bukayo Saka, Gabriel Martinelli, Emile Smith-Rowe, William Saliba. He gave these guys big roles and they all paid off. He chose long-term growth over short-term hype. Arteta ripped out the old passive Arsenal DNA and installed a bold, aggressive style. Was it risky? Yes, it was. But it turned Arsenal into serious contenders again. And don't get me started on the signing of Aaron Ramsdale. Oh, he suffered relegation with Bournemouth. He suffered relegation with Sheffield United. Yes, so Arteta chose Ramsdale over Leno. He saw what others did not see. He saw leadership, he saw distribution, he saw passion. Did it work? Yes, it did. For 2 campaigns in a row, Ramsdale was the keeper of the year in the Premier League before he lost his place with David Raya in the squad. Instead of splashing the cash on forwards, Arteta went all out for Declan Rice, £105 million, which was a British transfer record. A midfielder that was going to anchor his system. Our football had been built around Rice, and he had been a monumental signing for the club. The long-term vision was there. The winning mentality was also there. We lost Lacazette. We lost Aubameyang. What did Arteta do? He placed his trust on Eddie Nketiah. But guess what? Whether he was a starter or whether he was a super sub, Nketiah delivered some massive goals. Some clutch goals that actually helped us in our campaign to try and qualify for Champions League football. Arteta's journey hasn't been perfect, but his boldness and willingness to stand by his own cause restored pride to Arsenal. He made very bold and unpopular choices, but they were necessary choices. He prioritized discipline, prioritized mentality, and prioritized unity over everything. Now let's talk recruitment. From Ramsdale to Odegaard, from Ben White to Zinchenko, from Takehiro Tomiyasu to Declan Rice to Kai Havertz to Timber. Arteta has built a squad that has character and identity. Players who fight for the badge, who play for each other and fit the system. Last season, when Arsenal went to the Etihad Stadium, right? Leandro Trossard had a very unfortunate red card when the ref made it about himself. For 45 minutes, Arsenal defended at the Etihad, defended with their lives. They were no different from those 300 soldiers in Thermopylae. But in the end, it took a very late goal from John Stones to give Man City a draw. Man City celebrated the goal like they had won the Premier League. Arsenal players were so gutted. Highlight came around to tell us to be humble, right? But what did we do in the second leg? We smashed them off the park. One nearing Mount Louis Kelly, Partey, Havertz. The mentality is different under Arteta. The way we play the big six has changed a lot because he has recruited some players that have the right mentality to play at the squad. He has recruited some players that can now identify as genuine title contenders. He took over from Unai Emery, finishing 8th place. His first full campaign, he finished in 8th place. The next campaign was 5th. The last 3 campaigns have been back to back second. Arsenal have not qualified for the Champions League in a long while, but under Arteta, we returned to the quarter-final. First against Bayern Munich, but last season we even went a bit higher. After smashing PSV in the knockout round, Arsenal played against Real Madrid and ran them ragged, the defending champions. 5-1 on aggregate. In the semi-finals, Arsenal played against PSG, had a better XG against PSG in both legs. But we all know that the only reason why PSG made it to that final was because of Gigi Donnarumma. Arsenal had some very good chances to kill off that game, but they didn't utilize them. I can think of Martinelli's chance, I can think of Trossard's chance, I can even think of the goal that Mikel Merino scored that was cancelled because of offside. Obviously, we had to go with the semi-automated offside rule and it was clear that he was offside. But if Arsenal actually scored that goal 1-1 in the 49th minute, the momentum of that game would have changed. Then Edu left, and now we are signed better, who is cooking. Zubimendi, done. Nogard, done. Mosquera, done. Madueke, done. Keparis Balaga, done. All we're waiting for is Mr. Gyökeres. And very soon, we'll come here and say, done. This has been because of Arteta working hand in hand with Better. From Arsenal fans calling for his head with their hashtags Arteta out, to pundits doubting his tactics, Arteta has always been under immense pressure, but he has never cracked. They say he's a Guardiola clone. They say he's Pep Light, Pep 2.0. People mock his passion in the touchline. They'll claim, oh yes, he has never won the league yet. But let me ask you this question. How many managers have gone toe-to-toe with Pep Guardiola, developed some youngsters, changed the club's DNA, and almost won the league from him? The last man that chased Pep said that he doesn't have energy anymore, and he ran away before Slot took over from him. I don't want to name names. 2023, we are ahead of Man City for a very large chunk of that campaign. But obviously, we know what happened. Those unfortunate draws and they lost to Man City that killed it off. 23-24, Arsenal lost the league with just 2 points. All it took was a loss against Aston Villa at home. And Man City usurped us and went all the way. We had 89 points, but we did not win the league with that 89 points. It was a very, very, very harsh one. But guess what? We kept going. But let me hold my hands up. In 2020 and 2021, Arsenal hit rock bottom. We finished 8th twice. There was no European football. The Emirates was very lifeless. Our football was very dull. Arteta had a 3-4-3 formation that he was trying out just to give some stability to the team. The fans demanded a change, the pressure was loud. Arteta out hashtags were everywhere. When he started benching Ozil, he was accused of lacking man management skills. They were saying that he allowed his ego to dictate his decisions. But that stood firm despite losing some support from the fan base. After leading the league for 248 days in 2023, Arsenal collapsed in April and Arteta took the blame. He said he bottled it. He said he's not ready. But guess what he did? He doubled down. He continued on the mentality. He continued to build up squad depth, and his leadership didn't flinch. Instead of ranting and making excuses, Arteta responded with evolution. He gets new signings, made tactical upgrades, and has some cultural resets. He proved that pressure doesn't break winners, it builds them. Arteta has been doubted, mocked, criticized, and blamed. But guess what? He's still here, leading us now. A team with belief, a team with fight, a team with character, a team with resilience, a team that oozes class. The journey has not been smooth, but that's what makes it real. We have to keep backing him. If you're one of those fans that keep calling him out after some bad results, maybe you have forgotten how far we've come. As for me, I back Arteta 100% because the respect has been earned and he has earned my own respect as well. If you feel the same, drop a heart in the comments. If you still have your doubts, let's talk about it respectfully. But don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe for more, and let's keep backing our manager. North London is forever, and Arteta is on the wheel. Come on, you Gunners.